Traditional power provided to your house comes from the power plant, which primarily uses coal or natural gas. This power is delivered to your house by way of the power grid. This grid is expensive and needs to be maintained. A portion of your power bill each month is used to keep up with this maintenance. Now, energy demands change throughout the day. As people leave their houses in the morning and are gone during the day, the demand for energy is low. As they return home from work and school and start using dishwashers, washing machines, televisions, air conditioners, and heaters, the demand for energy increases. And as the demand for energy increases, the power company has to meet those demands by upping their production of electricity. Some households use more electricity than others. This creates a higher demand on the entire grid, causing the power company to work harder. In order to not make everyone cover these costs, the power company uses a billing program referred to as block rates. Essentially, block rates are as follows. The more you consume, the higher your rates. Electricity is measured in kilowatt hours. The first 500 kilowatt hours are the cheapest and fall under the first block. The next 500 kilowatt hours are more expensive. And then finally anything over 1,000 kilowatt hours is the most expensive. The households that use the most power pay the most to satisfy the higher demand of electricity during peak hours. The rooftop solar industry is rapidly growing. Solar panels placed on your roof will help provide your house with power. Now the problem with this is that the majority of the energy each day is captured during the non-peak hours when you're not at home to use it. So where does all this unused energy go? You guessed it, back on that same grid that the power company has run to your house. The same grid that needs to be maintained every day. The power company will actually buy your unused power at wholesale price plus an incentive to encourage solar installations and put it back on the grid. Let's break that down. The power company can purchase solar energy on the market for about 4 cents per kilowatt hour. That's wholesale pricing. And then they sell it to customers at a retail price of an average of 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Assuming the City Council is willing to incentivize solar installations at a rate of 2.7 cents per kilowatt hour, the energy company will buy back the power from your solar panels for 6.7 cents per kilowatt hour. It does not make sense to buy the power back at the full retail value simply because owning and operating a power grid is expensive. Employees have to install and maintain the grid in order to make sure power is readily available around the clock. Current solar power can be produced at 4 cents per kilowatt hour, so it wouldn't make sense to buy it back from customers at a higher price than what they would pay on the market. The slight profit left over from the buying and selling of electricity helps to cover the costs of maintaining the grid for rooftop solar customers. This buying and selling process is known as net metering. On each house, there is a power meter. This meter measures electricity that is both consumed and generated by any given household. All electricity produced by rooftop solar will be bought back at 6.7 cents per kilowatt hour, and it will not follow the same block rates that it is built for. Even if you produce 1,000 kilowatt hours in 1 month, it will still be bought back at the same rate. Now, there is one exception to the buyback rate, and it applies to all existing rooftop solar customers who purchased their solar panels prior to October 4th, 2016. These customers have been grandfathered into a different rate plan. The power company will buy back the power that is generated and placed on the grid using the retail block rates. Any power that is generated and consumed on site is not billed. All houses, whether you are a solar user or not, are connected to and use the grid. People with rooftop solar are constantly using the grid. They are either taking power from the grid or generating power to the grid. This grid has to be well taken care of. It costs money to maintain this valuable infrastructure. In an ideal world, everyone would have rooftop solar. However, it's not feasible for 50% of the population because solar panels are expensive, and some people have to deal with apartment complex or HOA policies. So for the 50% who can't get solar, they should not bear the burden themselves for costs associated with maintaining a grid. With the new net metering policy, the cost of maintenance is shared more equally by all power customers.